what we're trying to achieve is that as we're hearing a song, we have the words are kind of being animated in coordination with the song as we're hearing it, and then we're also going to have some pictures which animated through that. So up to this point, you guys, you have you've done your planning. Hopefully, you found your song, and you have gotten your lyrics into a text form. All right, so that would be kind of what you should do for preparation. You have your audio file, you have your words, and then we can start working to edit. It could be any song. I mean, did you pick something for your planning?
No, because that was on.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, it could be any song, though. We're going to choose, I'd like to have about 50 words of the song, so that will kind of determine how much of the song you're going to use. All right, so once you have your song, the first thing would be to do would be probably to trim out any extra content that you have in there. A program like Adobe Audition is a good way to do that. You can come in here, you can really kind of zoom in and zoom out on your timeline. You can highlight a certain section, you can delete parts of it, and then you would just kind of do and then you can also put in there your markers. So that's another part of this project that I think is important in preparation, is getting markers set up so that you know when the different lines of text should be visible and when they shouldn't. So there's a couple ways we can do this. We were talking in the morning, and it didn't seem like any of the virtual students have Audition on their computers, so you're not necessarily going to be able to do this. You could download something like Audacity Portable, or we also were talking in the morning, there was a website that we were using, which actually I think I have open another tab here. It's called Soundation or something like that. Where is it? Oh, I think I lost my tab. So you can edit in there. Oh, you know what? And before that, though, in order to get your music downloaded, if you're using YouTube, I have this site linked in the links page of the classroom. So this will convert your YouTube video to an MP3 or an MP4. So if you as you're getting ready, and YouTube has pretty much, it seems like every song on there, right? So if we come into here and I don't know, just pick this one up. So if I wanted to convert this video into audio, I would just select it from here, do a copy, and then on this site, which if you're not familiar with where this link is, we go to classwork, then links, and it's right here. All right, so the YouTube downloader. Once you get to that site, you have your URL or your address of your video copied. We do a search. All right, yeah, it's still thinking. Oh, that URL cannot be downloaded. All right, that's interesting. So let's find a different song to use here. The Weekend. I don't know. Let's see. So if I did this one, I can copy this address. Let's try this one. We paste it, we search. There we go. And you have options here as far as downloading it. For your MP3, you have a couple different bit rates. I don't know if they're going to necessarily create any better audio. I mean, they should, but as far as file size. And then we can convert, and then you would download that afterwards. So you would, after your planning, you're going to get that MP3 file for your song. You can edit it in Audition, like I was just showing. All right, by trimming things. You can also go in here, and if you wanted to set this as being the first part of where your text is, you can press M, and it's going to make a marker. All right, it's going to show you where the text is by you setting those things. All right. So once you have your song kind of trimmed and you have your markers in there, then we would go to After Effects. All right, I'm just going to make a new project here, or actually I'll close this one. All right, so when you open After Effects, you get the option for a new project or a new composition. We're going to choose the 1920 by 1080 that we've normally been using. Naming it would be good. All right, and then we're going to import that audio file. All right, we've made our project. Now we're going to import that audio file. So we can do file import, or it might be easier these days. I like to just we should be able to drag stuff into there. So depending on where you have it saved, you would go and do that. So I'm going to go to my animation folder and then my projects, and I have lyric video. Alright, so now I'm going to take that sound file and I will bring it into After Effects. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now that it's in here, and we can see that our marker has been saved in there. If you don't have Audition, or you can just bring the audio file in by itself and create your own markers. And for those at home that just have Premiere, I'm going to talk about how to do this process in Premiere also when I'm done. Alright, so I'm just going to import it again just to show you. Oh, this one had more markers on it, so that's not what I wanted to show you. So let's go and grab this one. This should be with no markers. Alright, there we go. So let's say you didn't want to take the time in Audition. All right, you could bring the file in by itself, and we can do is we can see the properties by, as they say, twirling down these layers. So if we click the little arrows that are next to the layer name over here, we can reveal more properties of that file. So with this one for our audio, now we have a waveform. So we can go in there, and to play in After Effects, you press the space bar. Alright, so we could go through here, and we can also, so let's say first off we'd want to shorten it maybe. So all you have to do is hover over the layer itself, and we can kind of mask out. So now if I press play, I'm not seeing any or hearing any of the audio up to this point here. So if I went up to here, now I hear it playing. And then I could just move the whole thing back so it starts at the beginning. Alright, so that's basically masking the beginning. We can also, like what I would want to do is mark like where the lines of audio or text start. We're going to do that as we're playing. If we press the asterisk, which is above the 9 on the number pad, we can create markers. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to press spacebar to play.
Good morning, Dr. Students. Today is Thursday, May 20th. It is National Red Sneakers Day, which marks a growing movement with a mission to save the lives of those with food allergies, while also sharing the story and memory of a boy who loved red sneakers. Energetic and athletic 11-year-old boy Oakley Debs had a tree nut allergy and peanut allergy. He loved red sneakers. Sadly, he is also a testament that allergens kill. In November of 2016, Oakley died after eating a slice of cake with walnut extract. It is also National Be a Millionaire Day. The idea of being a millionaire excites many imaginations. It's a good day to play the Mega Millions lottery. Today's famous birthdays are Louis T. Sir and Doug the Pug. Our quote is, "You're the artist of your own life. Don't hand the paintbrush to anyone else." Have a fantastic day.
All right. Oh, I had that in the recording. Usually I pause it. All right, so as we're playing, we can create these markers. All right, so I can press spacebar again. And I just press that asterisk as I'm going along. Oop. All right, so you would go through there and you would mark out where all your text is going to start. All right, and that's going to help us to now as we're adding text. So I can just come up to my type tool and I can type in here, school. We're almost here, right? School's out for the summer. So I thought this was a good song to use today. Now I can see my text got chopped off, so I'm just going to extend my text box and I should see the rest of it there. I can use my selection tool to kind of move it back. I like expanding this to see, and this is our zoom over here. So if I do a fit, I'll fit everything in there. All right, so right now my text is going the entire duration. So having these markers, now I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to adjust this by just sliding over, kind of similar to what we did with the audio, and have that align there. And then there's a couple ways to trim off the end. You can kind of zoom out and then go to the end and then just drag it. Be careful though not to click in the middle and move, because then you're moving over like the starting point of it. So you want to find the end where you have the double arrow and then drag it. Another thing you can do is we could go to this point. If we wanted this text to end here, then I can go up to the edit menu and say split layer. So it's going to just basically cut this text one piece and then two pieces, and then I can just delete the one that I don't need. So whatever is better for you as far as going to the end and shortening it or physically trimming it. All right, but now I have my text coming in, and actually I don't know how well I have it with my marker. All right, so I guess I could be technical. Yeah, let's make it match up. All right, so that would fit in there, and now it's just the animation aspect. So to add our animations, we're going to go to the effects and presets. We have a folder for animation presets, another one within there for text. So this is really the advantage of using After Effects, is you have all these preset animations, and I think this category Animate In has some appropriate ones. And let's just, all we do is click it and drag. Oh, and also, so right now I have my playhead at the end of text. If I apply my effect here, we're not going to see anything because our text isn't visible after that. So you want to make sure that your playhead is at the beginning of your text. And then if we apply it, kind of fades out, but that's because the animation is starting. All right, so that was just the fading in of text. Maybe you'd want to pick something that's a little bit more sophisticated. I can undo that one by just doing a Control Z. And this one, let's try this one. Pop-up buzzwords. No, that's not what I want. That is not the effect that I thought it was going to be. Let's try random shuffle in. Yeah, so that's a little bit better. All right, so you would do that for each section of text. You would typeset it, adjust the duration and the starting and ending, and then apply your effect. All right, we'll do the same thing with our pictures. All right, so I would import it or drag it in. Let's just pick a simple picture for now. All right, so if you would want that to show up there, we can just drag it over. And then we could adjust the duration. and apply your effect. Now they have categories in animation presets for images. So we could go into here. Where's the one there are rotation ones and zooming ones. Maybe this is what it was. Transitions and movements. Slide, swoop. Alright, so again, move your playhead to the beginning of the image on your timeline. And let's see what this one looks like on there. That's kind of cool. So you do have a lot of them, and I would suggest experimenting with them and seeing which ones you like. Alright, so once you get those applied with your animations, then you really, that would be the process of it, of the heavy lifting kind of for this project. When you're done, you do File, Export, and add to the media encoder, and just process it through like we have been doing with other video projects. Alright, so those are the basic skills for doing this project in After Effects. You would bring it in, get some markers placed on your audio, do your typesetting, animate the type, then do your pictures, animate them, and I think you'll probably have a title slide that you have to do on this. I have to look at the scoring and credits, but that should pretty much be it. Alright, so that's the process in After Effects. If we're going to do this in Premiere, alright, we're going to do a lot of similar things. What is this? Is this locked? In After Effects? New composition should be fine. Alright, why? In Premiere, we're going to start a new project. Where did it go? My pop-up. And we're going to make that similar to our other sizes of things, where it should be 1920 by 1080. Alright, so we can path that to where we want to save it. We would import our audio. That's what I'll be doing next, as I'm kind of waiting for this to accept my changes. Actually, let's close project. Kind of start over here. All right, so I would import my audio file. We can do it here, or instead of being lazy, I guess I still have to go through, but it should be kind of quicker. So my music is in here. All right, so I could take that same kind of unedited sound file, and we're going to drag it to our project panel. And then we want to make a new sequence. We don't want to just drag our audio file here, because actually it won't make a sequence from that. So if I go to File, New, Sequence, we can then pick, and to get our 1920 by 1080, we will use the setting here in the AVC HD folder, 1080i, 1080i 30. All right, that makes our 1080 frame. So press OK. Then we can drag our audio onto the timeline. All right, we don't have as much zoom control here, but you can kind of elongate it that way, make it a little higher here. Unfortunately, you're not going to see that waveform the same way, but actually, yeah, you can zoom in that way. All right, so we have our audio in there, and then we'll do the same thing, create markers. So you can scrub through to try to get to where the audio starts. Alright, so right about here is where my audio starts. Alright, in Premiere, we press the M button to create a marker. Alright, a little easier than in Audition or After Effects. I can keep going. I can press space to play. right, so I would just go through playing and marking the beginnings kind of each line. Maybe even the end so that you can fit your title in there. All right, so I don't really need to hear that now as we're going through. I can mute it. So now as I'm scrubbing, I don't hear it. I'll just have to remember to turn that on the export. And I'll do a Yep.
What's the marking key again? It's M, right?
M, yes.
Okay.
All right, so after I marked my audio file, showing all the points where I want my text, then I'll start making my text. All right, so I can just go in here and what was the first line of this song? I know I have it saved somewhere in here in one of my open tabs. There we go. Well, we got no choice, all the girls and boys. All right, so I'm going to just copy that line. I'll come back to Premiere, and this is going to be my text. Come on, paste in. Is Premiere stuck again? Oh, no, because I'm in the wrong screen. All right, so you would have your text, and then you would just adjust the duration to go with your markers. All right, so if you have them set up, you don't even have to hear the music. We know that this is where the next line starts, so maybe I'll even make it a little shorter. All right, and then in Premiere, since we don't have all those presets for animation, you can do some video transitions you could apply. You know, those, actually, I'm curious if those work for text. No, it's not working on there. We could do maybe like a cross dissolve. Oh, that's just a transition too. So really you have to think about how to manually make those animations. Limited on, you don't have these presets. So we would have to do kind of like we were doing with our previous projects, like with our animated titles and stuff. So we could have this text fade in by just keyframing your like opacity. That would be one thing. So we could have it start at 0 and then move our playhead over, make it 100. All right, so let's see how this plays out now. Actually, I got to turn my music back on. All right. So that's kind of the concept here. As we're hearing the words, we're going to see them and have that animated in some way. All right. You could also do movement, right? So if I wanted to do another text item, I think the next line, I would just come into here. I got to go back to my script, kind of, and then go into here. All right, and obviously I would definitely want to change my fonts to something a little more artistic, I think, but at least we kind of just, we can see how the mechanics of this work. All right, so I would say for this one, maybe instead of it fading in, we could do some positioning. All right, so we could say maybe it starts up here, and then somewhere down we make another keyframe, and we can move it down. Now let's see how that looks. All right, so that would be text in Premiere. If we're doing our images, kind of similar to what we did with text, so we would just import, choose a picture, and there we go. Just take this one for now. All right, we drag that to the layer, and then you could do something similar, which, and actually don't forget, if you want to use, if you spend a lot of time on one effect, like opacity, if you have a combination of things, you don't have to redo it on every other item. So I can take this right now, since I have my movement applied to this text, I can say copy. Now I can select my heart item here and do paste attributes, and we should find that that moves in the same, right? All All right, so that allows you to create some animation and not have to do it tediously over and over again. You can copy from one item to another one. All right, when you're done, then you would just export like we have done in the past in Premiere, export media. We get our pop-up. We're going to change it to H.264, so we get our MP4, right? All these acronyms. All right, but that will get our finished video with that. All right, so that's the process for doing it in After Effects and Premiere. I'll post this video. You guys can refer to it when you get to it.